I looked up getting one of those, I'll call it a scroll rod thing. So I don't know. It was kind of spendy. It was about 35 to 50 bucks, and I really wasn't into that, but it would keep this straight. And I wouldn't even mind if I had to sew it, so to speak. I guess you sew it onto it, so it doesn't move. But I don't know. We'll have to think about it. I mean, it was a nice concept, but then again, this thing's so wide, I'd have to have some place to sit it. So then it was going to be more because I had to put it on the floor. You know what I mean? So that it was up this level with me. And I don't know. I couldn't make up my mind. I'm being a Libra this week. I can't make my mind up about nothing. So, yeah, I diamond painted last night, and today we're doing this. So, I just don't know what to do next. But I don't need another project, thank God. But I just like to keep it interesting. And I don't want y'all get bored, with me doing one thing all the time. So, I don't know if you like that, or if you like me jumping around, doing different, well, I'm not going to be jumping too high. But I mean, going from one thing to the other. I mean, I can work on, I've got 8 to 10, I would say, diamond painting started. So, I mean, I could do a round robin with them and never do the same one every day. On a WIP and chat, or doing this stitch thing, I could go between this and, what do you call it? Oh, crap. I hate when I do that. Within the, between this and the beaded cross stitch. I like it, it's beautiful, but it's just not happening, people. It's just not happening. It just sends shivers down my spine when I have to work on that thing. But no, not quite that bad. It feels bad. So, get this tied off here. And, I'm not real particular about what my back looks of my canvas does. Some people, they're real into that. And if you were going all the way across and it looked consistent like this one does, this looks pretty consistent compared to this little nightmare, but there's so much to do. So, I don't know. It's 6 one, half a dozen of another. You know what I say? I say do it however you dang well please. Whatever makes you happy. And this would get laid down against something, and it's not like I'm going to iron it when it's done, unless it'd be real lightly, and you'd have to do it like you're going to press wool, I think. Like put a towel over it, just to kind of lightly steam it here and there. I don't know. I have no idea what this thing might look like, a little rag by the time I get it all done. And I'll be 96, and my kids will have graduated, and I'll say I finally finished it, ladies, and YouTube will be non-existent by then. See, okay, we're going to do that again. We'll just set you over there. Go away. Try again. See, that's what happens. I get carried away. And I was pulling, and I wasn't pulling in 3 different directions. So, yep, this is a prime example of what to do when you try to pull that out of there. So, no. So, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of options. And there's, your stitch tube. I think that's what it's called. Oh, boy. I don't know. Floss tube. Is that what they're called? The people that do, like, counter cross stitch and all that. So, you have a lot of options. It's all in what you want to do. So, I like a little variety, I guess. Which is, it's what keeps me going, because unless I don't know. I can't paint the same thing, so why should I expect myself to stay with the same craft here? So we're floating between these three this month. So we'll see where it all ends up, you know, and what we like to do. But I just think it's nice to do something else. Because, I mean, I must have done, God, back in, what was it? September, October, I probably did 12 diamond paintings back to back to back to back to back. And, you know, it never fazed me, you know, because I wanted to do them and they were fairly small. And I was in such a hurry to see what they all would look like done. But, yeah. So, it's kind of nice. It's a refreshing change. And I didn't want to go back to mixed media. Oh, I could sit here all day and jelly plate. Oh, and just probably go through an entire ream of paper. Or run out of paint first. Just because I love the way it turns out. I probably got enough jelly print to paper an entire wall. Or more, you know. But that was something I just absolutely love. Because it's like no one is alike. They're all different. It's kind of like your acrylic pours. I like acrylic pour too, but I thought it took too much paint. I thought it was fascinating, and so I don't know. Now I only paint with the grandkids, so if I'm going to paint at all, I just kind of lost it for it, and I've done so much. One of these days I'll have to go around and show you all my murals and the stuff that I have painted in the house. Give you a tour of all my artsy craftsy walls. But, whoops. I like this needle because it doesn't stab you every third time you put it in there. I think it's actually I don't know, it might be an embroidery needle. But it reminds me of a needlepoint needle. It has a somewhat dull end to it. So it's not stabbing me. Because, I mean, when I quilted, my fingers look like hamburger. I'd quilt everything by hand. I'd put the tops together by hand, and I'd quilt it all by hand. Because I could never get it to lay down properly on the sewing machine. Not the piecing part, but the quilting part, because there was 3 layers and it just never worked for me. So I hand quilted it and everything. I did have a wedding ring quilt that I was working on, but I never finished it. My girlfriend and I cut it, all the pieces for it one summer, and we cut enough for both of us, and we hand cut it. And oh my God, yeah. And we sewed and stitched, but I got ruined once again. So, yeah, well, time goes on. I might make another one of these days when I'm old and gray. And nothing else to diamond paint, because diamond paint's all gone out of fashion. But, yeah, it's always fun. Well, guys, thank you for joining me today for doing stitching. And we'll have to do it again. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. And hit the bell so you'll know when I have my next, video come out. And this will probably be in 2 parts, guys. So, thank you for joining me. You have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.